if you've been using sex as a distraction or to keep you preoccupied, if you've been using sex as a way to fill a void in your life, celibacy just might be the best decision for you in this moment. Let's chat.
Give me a run for my money. There is nobody, no one that run me. So give me a run for my money.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Chat with T. I am your girl Tmesia Celeste. We are back for another episode. I hope you are all doing well. I hope that you are all taking care of yourself as we are ending the... Are we ending the third quarter? We're not ending the third quarter. I hope that you're all doing well. You're taking care of yourselves. You are decompressing. You're finding ways to pour into yourself and replenish yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. I have been celibate for the past 6 years. Yeah, 2019, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm over it. My life has changed for the better once I stopped allowing my flesh to take over. Celibacy taught me that if you allow it, your flesh and all of that will really get you into some messy, sticky situations. Sex is great, yes. I'm not anti-sex, like at all. But I feel like there's more out there in the world than just that. And on top of that, if it's meaningless sex and you don't enjoy that, you should probably try celibacy. Here are 5 things my celibacy journey has taught me. Let's chat. When I first started my celibacy journey, I was reading a lot of like Christian articles and Christian novels and just a whole bunch of things about like, you know, becoming celibate and abstaining from sex and masturbation isn't good. And I was like, why wouldn't God want me pleased? So there are ways to maintain healthy masturbation habits. So if you have the urge, obviously do it, but try to see if you can channel that sexual urges or the sexual energy into something else, like maybe exercising to kind of release, right? Or we can also like do something creative, like channeling your sexual energy to create or to exercise, and then see how you feel after. If it's late at night and you want to like DJ or whatever like that, do it. 1000%. It's late. Who cares? However, if you do find yourself masturbating like all day, every day, like you really can't fight that urge, I would suggest professional help. Because maybe there's something within you that is unresolved and it could use some healing. So I would just suggest that. But DJ that clit and don't feel bad about it. Another thing that celibacy has taught me is to pour into your current relationships. No, your relationships with your friends, your family, your colleagues. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that that's gonna replace a romantic relationship. Like I'd be lying if I like said that to you. So it's okay if you want a romantic relationship. I feel like the current platonic relationships that you have won't replace a romantic one. I'm not saying that. However, at the end of the day, those are still relationships. Like your platonic relationships are still relationships. And they are just as important as a romantic relationship, if we're being honest. I would definitely encourage you as you're on your celibacy journey to utilize your current platonic relationships as kind of like a testing ground, if that makes sense, to prepare yourself for a romantic relationship in a sense, because again, it is a relationship. What I would suggest is within these current platonic relationships that you have, work on setting boundaries, right? Work on not people pleasing and not feeling like you have to be so codependent all the time. Work on being more direct, more honest, being more upfront about what it is that you want, what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, what it is that you're gonna tolerate, what you're not going to tolerate, where it is that you might want to compromise, where it is that you might not want to compromise. Again, like these are things that happen in a relationship, whether it's platonic or it is romantic. Also, spend quality time. Yes, make time for your friends and your family and your coworkers if you hang out with them outside of work. Like I said, it is still a relationship. When you get into a relationship, make sure that you don't get into the mindset of my man, my man, my man, and then you done ignored all your friends. Then shit goes left and now you have no one. Or maybe your family and friends are going to welcome you back with open arms. I don't know. But I've seen those instances where women have abandoned their platonic relationships for the romantic one. And then once shit hit the fan, you know, it just wasn't good. But yeah, these are relationships that you have to pour into every way that you can. Treat your relationships like a garden or like flowers. What do we do with flowers, right? We give them care, we nurture them, we give them nourishment, right? And attention in order for them to thrive and for them to blossom. Like, there's just no way around that when it comes to relationship. Like, you have to pour into it, you have to put your all into it in a sense, in order to watch it grow and to thrive, right? So what are your flowers, what are your relationships, and watch it bloom. To know thyself is to love thyself. So the third thing that celibacy has taught me is that as someone who was constantly dating and doing the do, I never had time alone, but that was a choice, right? I just felt like I had to always be up under a man. I had to always be up under someone and avoid dealing with my own shit. Like, I was running away from myself and utilizing sex and dating to not have to deal with my own shit. You know what I mean? Sex, it was a distraction. A good one, so I thought, but not really. I realized that I was using sex and dating as a way to fill a void, like that loneliness in my life that I was feeling, which actually stemmed from something else, but we'll talk about that another time. Once it was all said and done, I had to sit with myself. I had to sit with my insecurities. I had to sit with my shortcomings, those childhood wounds, those abandonment wounds. I had to sit with that, and also those feelings of just not feeling good enough. Like, when I was left by myself, I really had to sit with those feelings. And truthfully, it was really hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was very hard, you know, having to turn inward and having to do that healing work. Although it was hard, it wasn't something that was impossible to do, right? When it comes to healing, it is hard work, but it's not impossible. It's a choice. Like, you're either gonna heal, evolve, and grow, or you're gonna stay stuck and stagnant. As I look back on my journey that I began in 2019, I'm so grateful that I did the hard thing. Sometimes in life, like, you really have to just do the hard thing. You have to buckle up, you have to be brave, you have to put your big girl panties on, and you really have to just walk the walk. Like, you have to do the hard thing. That's just life. And now I love my alone time. I love being a loner. I love isolating. Obviously not to the point to where it's unhealthy and no one hears from me. They're like, where the hell is Samicia? It's not isolation to that extent. But I don't take that for granted. And I take myself out on solo dates. I'll be at the movie theaters or the restaurant by myself. I do not care. And that's something I never thought I'd do, be showing up and going to places by myself. But that's honestly just what it came down to me having to do. And, you know, I don't feel bad about it. I love dating myself. I love taking myself out and treating myself to stuff. Like, I went to the spa all by myself. Like, I'll do it again. I love it. I was just able to give myself the TLC that I've been needing, but I've been begging to get from others. But I was able to get to myself. Another thing that has transpired is me growing closer to my purpose in this lifetime. I don't have all the answers, not gonna lie to you, but I feel like with celibacy, I was able to focus more on building a career where I'm able to share my wisdom, where I'm able to share what I've learned and what I've gained from past experiences, even the painful ones, like the really painful experiences. I was able to channel that into sharing that. And I think there's beauty using your pain as a gift, I feel like. And that requires vulnerability. And I would not be able to be vulnerable today had I not sat down with myself and did the work. Had I not sat down and did the hard stuff. Not that type of hard stuff. but you know what I mean. Number 4, take sex out of the equation. When it comes down to it, take your time with dating. I take my time with dating, and I'm not in a rush to get into the sheets. Not gonna lie to you. Now, if you in a rush to get in sheets with me, that's gonna give me the ick. I'm gonna think something's wrong with you. I'm gonna think your penis is about to fall off or that you're burning or something. I'm gonna be really grossed out because you don't even know me. What's going on here? I have always been someone that loved a good slow burn. Taking your time with someone, you know. Even though I feel like sometimes I can fall fast. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I could fall fast, heart on my sleeve. I could. And I've always thought that it was good to be a friend before anything else. Although sometimes if I friend zone you, then that's just kind of it. But, you know, I think it's possible to be friends with someone and then be romantic later. So when sex is out of the equation, what else is there for you two to talk about? And I want you to sit with that as you're contemplating becoming celibate and maybe abstaining from sex for a little bit. What qualities do they have that will make them a great match for you? Do you guys share any common interests? I just feel like everything is good and gravy when you're exchanging bodily fluids. But what happens outside of the bedroom? And I think that's important to clock. I think that's important to make note of. How do they treat you? Be mindful of that. I've experienced situations where I thought we were good because we were, you know, doing it or whatever, but turns out when we're in public or we're out, you don't really fuck with me like that. So it's like, what makes you think you can have access to my body and then treat me like a stranger? Temptation is a motherfucker, but you can't beat it. Here is the last and final thing that I've learned while being on my celibacy journey. Temptation, as an example, is like you're on a strict diet, right? And you're making great progress. You're eating your greens, your beans, all that good stuff. But that bag of Reese cups that's sitting on your marble countertop is calling out to you. It's saying, eat me, eat me. You know you shouldn't devour an entire bag of Reese cups, right? You know you shouldn't because you know it's not good for you. That's like temptation in a nutshell. Be careful not to put yourself in situations where you know you would be tempted. And this is going to be a little bit difficult at first, or it might not be for you, but this is where accountability comes in, and maybe having an accountability partner and just someone who can keep you on track when it comes to your celibacy journey or you just abstaining from sex for a while. Would it be a smart idea to go to his house late at night, cuddling on the sofa, right, with the lights off? I'm purring just thinking about it. No, it would not be. It would not be a smart idea to do that. Especially if you're just starting out with celibacy, please avoid being alone with a man that you're just starting out dating or wherever the case may be, because the feral energy will try to take over. Trust me, like, I know. And how can you stand on business with a throbbing cat? How? So this isn't your typical celibacy survival guide, because celibacy isn't something that you have to survive. Like, celibacy is not a death sentence. Your life is not over just because you're abstaining from sex. I promise. In a world where sex is so glorified and it's plastered everywhere you look, and there's definitely societal pressure that makes you feel as if you should be engaging in meaningless sex. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. You don't have to. You don't have to give in. For me, I learned that I don't enjoy being placed on a back burner. I don't enjoy being in someone's back pocket. I don't enjoy being someone's second option. I'm not a fan of meaningless encounters. I hate them, actually. I deserve someone who chooses me the first time. Like, I'm your first choice. I'm your first option. You know what I'm trying to say? I deserve someone who values me, takes the time to learn me and to pour into me. And I feel like we're all valuable, sacred beings. And that means not everyone deserves access to you. Access denied. Like, for real. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, no, thank you. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are also on your celibacy journey, comment down below and let me know how that's working for you, whether you're a few years in, or you're a month in, a few days in, no matter your time length, your duration. I would love to know how that's working for you, and I'll also maybe like to know what made you want to start your celibacy journey. I also wrote an article on Substack, and I'm gonna link it. That's just talking about my celibacy journey some more in depth. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on next week's episode of Chats with T. Oh, my birthday's coming up, guys. I'll be 28. 28. But yeah. So yeah. Okay. I will see you on next week's episode of Chats with T.